Last week, the Supreme Court sided with President Trump on federal judges lacking the authority to grant nationwide injunctions, such as one on birthright citizenship. But the court left the issue of citizenship for children born in the U.S. to non-citizen parents up in the air. Here to talk more about what this means and recent deportations we've seen in the Memphis area is Mauricio Calvo, President and CEO of Latino Memphis. Mauricio, always glad to have you here.
Alex,
on the News at 3. How have you been?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for asking.
There's been a lot of talk about, regarding the birthright citizenship, but a lot of people wonder, is this ruling really about judicial powers or something else?
Well, it's ironic, right? Because the whole argument was about birthright citizenship, and that's what this decision is not about. As you mentioned, this is really about really whether the local federal judges have the power to check on the president. So I think this is important, regardless of political affiliation, that we should acknowledge that the judicial's role is impartial, in part to check the executive, to bring the check and balances that the founding fathers had in mind. And unfortunately, what we have seen with this is a walk away from that check and balance. So both presidents from both parties in the past have used executive power to legislate. And this is when the judicial comes in and puts the brakes on them. Now this court has given the executive a lot of power, which I'm concerned about. I
do want to ask you, there have been some supporters of this ruling saying birthright citizenship is a magnet for illegal immigration. Your response to that?
Well, again, this particular decision had very little to do with that, right? But now that you ask the question, absolutely not. I mean, it's the 14th Amendment in the Constitution gives the right to be a citizen to somebody who's born here. Many countries have the same thing. I am a Mexican-American person, so if you're born in Mexico, you are Mexican, right? If you're born in the United States, you are, regardless of where your parents are from. It's your citizenship, right? The citizenship that you obtain by the place where you are born. I mean, it's not a unique process. It's actually pretty standard. Most countries.
So, Mauricio, does this open the door up for potential chaos, or maybe not? Or are you having to watch this very slowly and very carefully? What do you want to say to people?
It can be very confusing, right? Because even when the Supreme Court rules, what are we going to do to? I mean, it's going to be very chaotic because for so many years we have kept it this way, and now to go back, it's going to be challenged. It's just one of these distractions, honestly, that it really doesn't fix a problem. You know, so many people are against illegal immigration, but then we're also against legal immigration too, or people who are born in this country. I don't know. It's to me, it's trying to fix a problem that doesn't really exist.
Yeah, and the reason I ask that is a lot of people may be wondering, well, what does this do for states individually? What does this do for hospitals when it comes to maybe a child being born and their parents are perhaps from another country?
I mean, from the practical perspective, it's going to be a pain for, like you said, when you're trying to register a baby. But in the reality is that this country is facing a decline of population. We need people. The city of Memphis needs more people to live here, to work here. I mean, this notion that immigrants are taking jobs away and that we're taking more is false. Like we have the data to prove that more people, higher density, it makes the city better. Look at Nashville, like growing, right? Like we could use more people in the Mid-South.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else also, ICE. That has come up a lot. A lot of people, not only here in Memphis, but all across the nation. Memphis has not seen, a lot of people would say fortunately, not a lot of high-profile immigration raids or roundups yet, but how are you watching this?
Yeah, I'm taking my iced tea without ice nowadays. Okay. Because I don't want anything to do with that. But no, in all seriousness, we may have not seen a massive operation, but we are seeing daily operations. So let's not be confused. Just because we don't see 100 people detained all at once doesn't mean that 2 or 3 people or more are being detained every day, which at the end of the month is the same thing. So ICE is very present in Memphis.
So are we seeing a steady stream, what you call that, of smaller operations?
Daily. I mean, we hear people being detained every single day, most of them without criminal backgrounds.
So how are people being treated, I mean, during this? What are you hearing?
Yeah, so the process is people get detained and they're immediately transferred to a place in Louisiana, which is really hard to reach legal representation, their family members, people are confused of where they are. So I will say there's a clear a violation of due process for a lot of these people. And people have to think about it. Imagine that your loved one, again, regardless of immigration status, gets detained and then sent to a detention center 5-6 hours away from here. It would be terrifying.
One last thing, how does Latino Memphis deal with this? Do you reach out to your state lawmakers, your U.S. representatives, your senators? How do you deal with
We're
this?
trying to do many things. One of them is that we have a team that represents people in detention. We have attorneys on staff that are ready and are representing people in those detention proceedings. But we are also doing, advocating with people like business leaders and legislators to put an end to this. This is going to impact the economy in a big way.
All right, Mauricio Calvo, Latino Memphis, always good to see you.
Thank you, Alex.
Come on back anytime.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thanks,
a short break. We'll be back in just a moment.